Hi, 1 Hour Smart Home here, and today we're going to show you how to install a TP-Link Wi-Fi smart light switch so that you can remotely control your smart lighting from your phone. You can see we've already got this installed, and once you have it installed, you can go ahead and just click on your phone and turn on or off the light switch, as well as turn it on from here. But you can also connect this to Alexa or Google Home if you want to use it with voice control. So we're going to get started installing this and showing you how you can wire up the smart TP-Link Wi-Fi light switch. And the first thing that we need to do to get this installed is make sure that we have the power off to the circuit that we're working on. So you're going to go ahead and turn off the power at the circuit breaker. You can confirm the power is off by trying to turn on the existing light switch, and once nothing turns on, you know you've got that circuit breaker off. Now, the first step we're going to do is remove the existing cover plate on the existing light switch. Now that we've got the cover plate off, we're going to remove the screws that hold the existing light switch to the junction box. Once again, you want to make sure the power is off for this. If you have a non-contact voltage meter, now is a good time to check and make sure that the power is off again to this light switch. So we know the power is off, and we're just going to go ahead and remove these two screws. Now that we have the screws removed to the light switch, we can pull this forward to give us access to the junction box and the wiring on the existing light switch. Now, this TP-Link smart light switch does require a neutral wire. So we want to make sure that we have a white neutral wire in the junction box to confirm that we can install this TP-Link smart light switch. I'm going to include a video below on how to identify a neutral wire, but we can see in this junction box that we do have a white wire right here, which is a neutral wire, and that can connect to the white wire back here on the back of the TP-Link smart light switch. Now, not every home will have a neutral wire in it, but most homes built after the 1980s will have a neutral wire in that switch box, so you're good to go with a TP-Link smart light switch. Now, I'm going to go ahead and remove the existing wiring to the existing switch. We just go ahead and loosen up the wire nuts, but before we do that, we want to make sure that we take a picture of this existing wiring, because it'll make it a lot easier to rewire the new TP-Link smart Wi-Fi light switch if we have a picture of the existing wiring to make sure that we get it in the right place for the new smart switch. To remove the existing wire nuts, all we're going to do is rotate these counterclockwise, and that's going to loosen them up off the existing wires. Now that we have the existing light switch removed, we're ready to start wiring up the TP-Link smart Wi-Fi light switch. So you can see on the back it indicates which wire is which. We've got a neutral wire that's white. We have both a live and a load wire here indicated in black, and we have a ground wire indicated here in green. So what is nice about this TP-Link smart light switch is that your live wire and your load wire are interchangeable, so you can't get those backwards. You can just wire one up to the live wire and one up to the load wire. And the live wire and load wire are also the same terms as hot wire or load wire. So your hot wire is incoming power, which is this wire for us over here, and your load wire is the wire that goes outgoing to your light fixture, and that is called the load wire. So now we're going to go ahead and get this wired up. We're going to go ahead and just wire up our white wire first. That's our neutral wire right here, and we're going to wire these together. The next wire we're going to go ahead and wire up is going to be our load wire. So we're going to use one of these black wires and connect it to this existing load wire here. So we go ahead and take one of these wire nuts and connect the two. Now we're going to wire up our live wire or hot wire, which is this one here on the light switch, and these two wires here. So once again, we're going to take a wire nut and secure these three wires together. Now the only wire we have left is our ground wire. So we've got unshielded ground wires here, but for most of you, you'll also have an insulated green ground wire like this, or it may be unshielded. Now, if you live in a state with electrical junction boxes that are metal and conduit, you typically won't have a ground wire because the conduit will act as the ground itself. However, if you have plastic junction boxes, it's very important to make sure that you connect the ground wire if you have it available. Now that we have all the wires wired up, we're ready to install the TP-Link Smart Wi-Fi switch. Now, you can see the size of the switch is fairly large and the junction box has a small amount of access. Here, you're going to need to play around with folding the wires into the box so that you're going to be able to fit this with everything that we have in there. So take your time in doing this and then try and get the light switch into the junction box. You're also going to need to remove the cover plate that is on the light switch. So you're just going to need to snap it off. These just snap on with a couple of clips here so that you can access these screws to install the light switch in the junction box. There we go. We pried it off and now we can start installing this. Now that we've got the wires in the junction box, we're ready to install the switch. So we've just got these two screws here. You're going to align them with the two holes on the junction box and then secure. Now that we have the light switch secured, we can either install the screwless cover plate if we've got a single junction box, or we can use one that has the screws on top of it. Since we've got a single junction box here, we're just going to go ahead and snap this in place. You can see that on the bottom there is a little knockout here, so that is the bottom of this screwless cover plate, and you're just going to press it on until it snaps in place. So there we go, we have got this now fully installed, and the next thing that we need to do is go ahead and restore power at the junction box to this TP-Link Smart Wi-Fi light switch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Turn on the circuit breaker, and then this will be ready to control this light bulb here or this light fixture. Now, once we restore power, if you want to have Wi-Fi control, you're going to need to install the Casa Smart app. So go ahead and search for that in the Android or iOS store and then click install, and we'll get started setting this up on Wi-Fi as well as restoring the power. So we restored the power at the circuit breaker, and now we can turn on and off the light using the switch. But we want to get this set up so that we can control it from our phone or with Alexa or Google Home. So in order to do that, we're just going to go ahead and open up the app and start getting this installed. Go ahead and create an account for the TP-Link Wi-Fi Smart Light Switch. Once you set up a username and password, you're going to need to go to your email and verify the account. Once you've done that, you're ready to go back to the app and it will let you start setting up the smart light switch. It wants us to enter our location. You could click allow for this, but I'm just going to click not now. Now it takes us to a preferences screen. I'm just going to go ahead and click get started. Now we're ready to add the device to the TP-Link app or the Casa app. In order to do this, all we're going to do is click in the upper right hand corner in this plus symbol, and that will start letting us add a device. So I click on a device, and now I'm going to scroll down to what we installed, which is a smart switch here. I click on this and we installed this top smart switch, and we're going to go ahead and just click on that. It says before we start, have you already installed your smart switch on the wall? Yes, we have. So we go ahead and click yes. Now we've had the power restored, and it says to look on the front of your smart Wi-Fi switch for a blinking light. So you can see that the light is blinking here, and all I'm going to do is go ahead and say orange and green because it is connecting to that. Now I'm going to just click allow here to allow the Wi-Fi device to set up on my phone. It says allow Casa to access this device location. I typically only allow for when the app is open, so I'm going to click that option here. Now it's starting to connect to the smart Wi-Fi switch, and we'll see if this gets connected so that we can start using our TP-Link smart Wi-Fi switch with our phone. We entered our Wi-Fi network and password, and now the smart light switch is connecting to the TP-Link app or the Casa app so that we can control it from our phone. It says give your device a name. So we're going to go ahead and just give it a easy to remember name, and we're going to call this one Family Room. Now we can choose an icon for the TP Smart Link switch, so we're just going to leave it with the top selection, which is the light switch. Congratulations, your smart switch is ready for use in your device list. We're just going to go ahead and click sounds good. It looks like we need to update the software, so we're going to go ahead and let that update. It looks like the update is complete, so we should be ready to start using our smart switch here in just a few minutes. Now that the update is complete, we can go ahead and turn on and off the light with the remote control from our phone. Now, you can also connect this TP-Link smart Wi-Fi light switch to Alexa or Google Home so that you can have voice control of the light switch. Inside the app, you can also set timers, connect this to other switches, or create routines and groups of light switches so that you can control multiple lights all at once. So thank you for watching this video on how to install your TP-Link smart Wi-Fi light switch. I appreciate it, and if you want to support us, please subscribe, click on any of the links below, or mash that thumbs up button. We'll see you next time, and thank you for being here.